The Ruger 1022 is an American classic. There's no denying that. It's one of the most popular firearms in the world, and it's also one of the most highly customizable firearms in the world. So, I wanted to make a video showing how I turned my stock Ruger 1022 into this. Let's have a look. Now this is what you can pick up in the shop, you know, your local gun store, very easily. They're 10 a penny. This one has the blued barrel, same with the receiver. It's got a standard bolt. It has the standard 10 round drum magazine and a basic wood stock, no checkering or anything fancy like that. I bought this one second hand. This is a 2007 model, and straight out of the shop, it's a fantastic semi-automatic rimfire. I had no real complaints. However, if you have a 1022, you're gonna do it up. There's no escaping it. There's so many things you can customize on these rifles. There's no way you're not gonna try it. So, first thing I did was replaced the buffer, the bolt buffer. The reason for doing this is that the standard bolt buffer, when your bolt is cycling, it's banging against it, and the standard bolt buffer can actually crack your receiver over time from the bolt slapping. So a very easy fix is to go on eBay and get a replacement one, polyurethane or some other material like that that's softer, replaces it. I'm going to show you how to do it now. So it's as simple as this. Take a flathead screwdriver, set your safety catch to halfway between off and on, then you loosen the retaining screw bolt, you don't have to remove it completely. Now hold it, and the rifle is just removed, falls out of the stock quite easily. Now you see here, just push that pin out, push that pin out, and that releases the trigger mechanism. Just set the pins to the side, and here it is. Comes out real easy. Now this is the part you're after. Now remove that again, just pushing it through, and then this is the original part. Now this is the replacement part. The one I chosen is again a soft plastic. It's a lot softer, so when the bolt's hitting it, it makes it a lot quieter for one thing, and you're not running the risk of cracking your receiver. So it's that simple. You take the replacement bolt, put it through the required hole, push, and that's it. While we'll have it apart, there's another easy fix I'd like to show you. My 1022 had a really bad habit of basically jamming. It wouldn't cycle all the time, and after a bit of investigation I realised that it was down to the extractor that was on my bolt. Very simple to do. I basically got an I don't know if you can see it there, but if you can see at the top, there's a little hook here. I removed that and replaced it with a sharp titanium one. Now this only cost me a few pounds, but it instantly got rid of the problem. I haven't had a jam, I'll be honest, with my 1022 since, and I've probably shot, I'd say, about 6,000 rounds through it since I made this, replacement part. So that's one I would recommend as well. So once I've taken care of the bolt buffer and the extractor, I made the next logical step, and I wanted to improve the trigger. Now Ruger actually has a factory bought option where you can literally just drop in an entirely new trigger unit. Now this is very, very simple to do. Again, it's just a matter of taking a couple of pins out, dropping the new trigger mechanism in, replacing the pins, and you've literally got yourself a competition trigger for very little investment. Now this one costs £95. They're a lot cheaper in the States, but I'll be honest, it was worth every penny for me, because it took the trigger from, I think it was around £5.2 to £7 trigger pull, right the way down to £2.2 trigger pull. And it's very simple to install. It's literally, this is the competition one here. So again, take your rifle. Now you take the trigger mechanism, and it's as simple as dropping it into place and putting the pins back. Job done. You've just upgraded your trigger. It's that simple. Now that those pieces are taken care of, the next thing that really bothered me was the magazine. Now anyone that owns a Ruger 1022 would be able to tell you that this is the standard drum mag that comes with the rifle. Now it's located here, very simple. Load it up, slide it in, and you're good to go. Now I'm sure many of you will agree that 10 shots is more than sufficient if you're out hunting rabbit or squirrel, or whatever else the humble 22 LR round is capable of doing. But when you're at the range, one of the things I hate about shooting, and I don't hate a lot of things about shooting, but reloading the magazine on a range day to me is a bit of a pain. So I purchased myself one of these. Now this is a Ruger branded BX25 magazine which holds 25 rounds. Now I've never had any trouble with these, but then I would recommend taking them apart and adding a little bit of gun oil, not too much, but just enough to keep the insides, moving slowly. It's quite a simple mechanism inside, but again, works just like the standard 10 round mag. Plonk it in and you're good to go. Now I can tell already that some anti-gun people are freaking out that this is now an assault rifle, but it isn't. It's still a semi-auto, it's just got a big banana mag. The next thing I did, and this is quite a cheap fix as well, it's a muzzle brake. Now if you notice, the Ruger comes threaded, or at least mine did, so it was just as simple as screwing it on. Now what this does is when the round's fired, it releases gases through the holes and basically stabilizes round, the bullet, as it's flying from the barrel, the muzzle. Very, very simple and cheap to do. This was actually custom made for me by a friend who has a workshop. However, I've seen almost exactly the same design for sale on eBay. A few gun stores in the UK would probably stock these, as again Ruger 1022 is a very popular firearm, so it's quite easy to get accessories for. But I noticed a massive difference when I had replaced the trigger mechanism on this. My grouping was a hell of a lot tighter. Now, I'm not saying it was the accessories, but maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. So a lot of people will tell you that you can put as many accessories on something as you want, but at the end of the day it's practice that wins competitions, and I would agree with that. So we've taken care of the extractor, the bolt buffer, we have got a competition trigger, we now have a muzzle brake. Now this left me thinking, the inside of this gun now, you know, it's been upgraded to a point. I think it's about time I upgraded the outside. So this is where my new ATA stock came in, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to upgrade the appearance of your 1022. This is the ATA stock I was telling you about. Very, very simple to put this onto your rifle. Take the new stock, put the rifle into it. Now you'll notice that the rifle barrel isn't actually touching the stock at all. It's now made of a floating barrel. This actually helps with accuracy as well. All these things add up. Now you take this part and it simply fits onto the top, and with a few turns of an Allen key you've just upgraded the appearance as well as hopefully the accuracy of your rifle. Now I went for this sort of desert tan colour, purely only for the reason that I quite like the aesthetics. There's not a lot of people at the range have went with the, you know, desert tactical look. There's a few up in my club in Donegal have done up 1022s, as you're going to get in any club, but like I said, this is the only one I've seen that is the, you know, desert colour, and I think it sets it off. But again, I think with the blued barrel sort of accentuates it, as well as the black accents on the cheek piece at the back. But again, that's just my opinion. People have their own ideas about what they find aesthetically pleasing, but to me, I think this is lovely. So there it is. Now this particular one, you have an adjustable back piece, you have an adjustable cheek piece which goes up and down, you have the pistol grip. The pistol grip has a piece at the bottom which can come out for fitting a battery to, in case you wanted to use a light or, you know, something like that. You have the rails on the sides and on the bottom, and they actually added this nut for a sling. This particular model has a button here which if pressed, I'll need both hands, which if pressed makes for easy storage. For me, this particular stock did everything I needed it to, and for quite a decent price. I think I picked this up for around 130 RRP. Field and Stream in Moy, that would be my favourite firearms dealers. I know they had it in stock, and I think they have another one in stock now, so if you're interested, give them a ring. Now the next simple thing I did, and it's a part that gets a lot of attention, because I would do a lot of target shooting up at the range. Bipod is very important. It's okay to do a freestyle, but if you have one of these, it makes your life a lot easier. Now this particular model, it's as cheap as chips. I got it from China, from eBay. It took about 4 or 5 weeks to get here, fair enough. But what I liked about it was that at the push of a button here, it does this. Now another push of a button actually extends the legs. This also has a bit of movement, so it makes target shooting a lot more pleasant of an experience than it was before. So it's as simple as sliding it onto the rail, tightening the nuts, which grips on, and within the sake of a minute and a half, you've already upgraded your rifle again. This is what I'm saying about the 1022. There's so many options for it that if somebody says to me they're not going to do it up, I find that hard to believe. And there we have it. Now, as these are adjustable, depending on where you're shooting, you can set it up just how you like it. Now, I haven't shown you how to set up, your own scope or anything else like that, but I think that anyone that's into shooting is going to know that already. One final upgrade I did was on a stock 1022. If you open the bolt and you want to lock it open, you have to fiddle about until you find a mechanism here, and then that'll lock it. Now, on a standard 1022, you have to muck about looking for the catch again in order to release the bolt. Now this is a dead simple fix. Again, I got this off eBay, but this is the standard mechanism involved with locking it open. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little nick in that hole, and that's what catches. Let's see if I can, there, you can see it now. Now I got a replacement one that has this nick taken out of it, and what that basically does, instead of having to muck about looking for the mechanism again to unlock, to lock the bolt, you just pull it back and it closes. It's a very simple fix, but it made my life a lot easier, and it's very simple to do. You simply take the trigger mechanism out, it's a couple of pins, pop, put the new part in, put the pins back in, you're finished. I think it cost me something around £15, £20. So again, for very minimum input and cost, you can do up your 1022 to a point where it's a real nail driver. You're going to be shooting groups and shooting rounds through the same hole, Some people say that a bolt action is a lot more accurate than a semi-auto, and I can concur with that, yes. If you're shooting rapidly with a semi-auto 22 LR, there's going to be a variation in accuracy. If you take your time, there's not much of a difference between this and a bolt action. So it just depends. Do you want the ability to shoot rapidly or have a bit of fun if you're plinking? Then this is the gun for you. If you're more old school and want a massively heavy 22 bolt action, that is supposedly built for competition or accuracy, fill your boots. But for me, I wanted the fun, and I have to say I wouldn't regret it. I never regretted buying this rifle. Every time I shoot it, it brings a smile to my face. And isn't that what shooting's all about? Isn't that what's important? It's the fun factor as well as the usefulness factor. And to me, the Ruger 1022 has it in spades. So for now, I'm Mike Lindsay. Thanks for joining me. All the best.